Hello, beautiful people. How are you doing today? So, welcome to PanPastels experimentation. Watching a lot of videos about having cheaper options for PanPastel, and I think they work. We have here, I'm going to show you what we have. So, if you want to watch the video and then replay it again to follow along, you are welcome. So, we got a couple of stencils. I think I'm going to see if my other stencil, the one that I was using, is dry. No, I don't have it here, but well. So we'll work with these two. We are going to work with two types of material. I'm going to work with makeup sponges and the original soft tool. Okay, and I also got additional art sponges. Okay, so I think they're the same, different color, but I think they're the same. They feel the same density, and I'm going to test that this one as well. Okay, so I have the triangular, rectangular, this kind of finger shaped, and another one that doesn't have like 2 points there. So that's good. We got these ones to work with, and we got, of course, the official spatula with the 2 sponges. I always recommend to clean, but still, even if the color might not be transferred that much after you have used it, and clean it with a soft cloth. I kind of, instead of using a paper towel, I think I will go for a soft cloth of a certain type, so we can preserve a little bit of this texture and use different colors on different sides. We have water brushes. We have a tea infuser that is going to work as a sift. Some containers, cheap plastic containers. Not sure the alcohol is going to work, but this one is particularly nice. I attach this clip so I can keep it open. Okay, and we're going to be working with soft pastels. This set is like 40 years old. And of course, we're going to try and emulate the texture of soft pastels. If you are not so sure what to buy for this set, my recommendation is going to be, if you're not very good at mixing colors or color theory, go for the 20 basic colors set. You don't need more than that. But if you want to experiment with color theory and all those nice things that we can do with mixing and experimenting, then you can go for the basic 7 set that looks like a flower, quite nice flower. Okay, so the first thing that I created that I wanted to test was, let me take out my watercolor paper. This is an old watercolor, not nice, so I can recycle the paper. And I have them here in my Google book I'm going to use. I'm going to put my containers aside, and we are going to grab a bar. Right now the bars are not this long, so they are not that easy to break, but some time ago this was very, very common to have these long bars, and they break in different places. So this is a color that stains quite much. You can get to see this already on my fingers. And what is good about this system, is that it's even. You don't have to risk your fingers, because you can always do art knives. Okay, you can always do art knives, but this is particularly tiring. Okay, and I think that We want to enjoy the coloring process and not necessarily get so tired. But the idea is the same. You're going to grab it and you're just going to go through this. You can use different sides. And I'm going to show you the difference when we use this system and when we used the knife. Okay, I hope the dust doesn't blow while I try to get it close to camera, but here it goes. Okay, so this one is with the knife, so you have like a bigger dust, and this one is with the sift or the tea infuser in this case. So this is a dust that's going to be really, really useful if you want to use makeup sponges or the soft sponges. Now, I'm using wax paper because what you can do is keep part of the dust that you don't use on these containers, and later you can use this for different things. And then you're just going to grind what you need. You're not going to kind of use more of what you need. And this is easily clean under the soap and sink. Soap and under the sink. No big deal. Okay. Sorry if my vocabulary is a little bit off today. I'm kind of excited about everything that I have discovered. So what to do? Well, first a try. From the wax paper, you can grab your dust and you can apply it, watercolor paper. I'm starting with the original tool. It's clean, but I'm using the blue section, but this is kind of a dark blue, dark teal, and you can see how soft that is. What if you don't want to invest in more tools and you are just going to stay with the ones that come in the set? Makeup sponges. And here I have a white area, I have blue area. I'm going to use this area. Also grabbing a little bit from the wax paper. And let's compare. You're going to get more dust with the makeup sponges. But what I like about these makeup sponges is the same material, different density. Definitely the coverage is totally different because this one is wider than the PanPastel tool, but the difference is minimal, if we can say non-existent. Okay. Now, what happens if I use the dust that I got with a knife? First, our soft tool. So I'm going to tap to grab it. It's going to generate probably some lines. Okay, let's compare it. But it's minimal, really. So the knife also works in case you don't want to invest of any of this. The secret is that this has to be a really, really fine mesh. Okay, it has to be really close and tiny. So when you grind this, your dust is really, really very soft and volatile and things like that. Now let's grab just a little bit that I have here left. You can go to different sides so you can smooth your pastel. Okay, so here we are using regular good brand, famous brand, Faber-Castell pigments. Okay, now some people say that it is possible to use PanPastels with water. Of course, I will not have my pans filled with water. That's something that is a no-no. But I think that is possible with any pigment, you know. If it's a soft pastel, this water brush is humid. I'm going to take some of this dust and apply with water. Just a regular Faber-Castell one. The wax paper is disposable, so no big deal. So you can get to see that you can create a watery effect with this. Okay, but what if I want to try? Let me clean this one using my cloth that I have here, and I think it's fairly clean. I'm going to try and get something softer to clean it, and maybe next month get more of these because I only have one left. So I put this one away. I don't want to lose this dust just in case I need to go back with this one. And I'm going to grab directly. Let me change it. Let me do this. Let me switch and turn this around. And use the green. I have used the green with white. And some people mix it was the other way around. I was correct. Some people mix on the pastels and later they clean them, which is interesting. It all depends on how you feel with this, but definitely these things are particularly creamy. So another thing that is important is not to go so much. 3 dabs, different sides, more than enough. I'm going to put the green close. So this is testing the tool with a PanPastel. And we're going to compare it to my Faber-Castell dust. Okay. PanPastel. Here we have soft pastel. Put it like this. You can see this better. I hope this can be seen on camera, but the difference is nothing. Okay. So that's one thing. Okay. Here, let's go with this one. Okay, so I have a kind of green. Let me try and use this softer side. So again, as this is a bigger tool, just 1, 2, maybe 3. And so this one's going to be, as this is more flexible. Okay. What I can tell you, the difference is, okay, the difference that I can noticeable, that's what I wanted to say, is that this one kind of has a little bit more dust. It doesn't matter if it's the soft pastel or the PanPastel, you get dust. You can blow on that. But the coverage, the difference, is not really significant if the paper is good. Okay, there you go. Now, what happens if I want, let me put this away, if I want to test the system, where do I put my wax paper? Oh, here. I have here more wax paper. Okay. So I didn't take this out before. I was using the pen, but take it out. Okay. I think for this, I'm going to use the ceramic knife. Okay, so we can get a little bit of dust on here. If you're too afraid to do this, that's why I'm doing this for you. Okay, so here we have a little bit of PanPastel dust. Okay, back off so we can work and affect things. Okay, and grab your water brush. Let's clean it. This cloth is going to be green and blue when I finish. Okay, I always test how humid my water brush is, or a regular brush. I always test it in my hand. If it's just too much, I let it dry. Then once I feel humidity is good, let's go and play with this. Okay, so this is PanPastel dust applied with water. Remember, never add the water on the pen, because the binder of PanPastels is a certain alcohol component, and that's because I have investigated. Okay, this is alcohol, what they use to bind these very fine pigments, but they are artist quality pigments. So if you want to try any of these methods, the sift or tea infuser and the dust, whatever, you need to make sure you have quality pigments, because the cheap pastels, the cheap soft pastels that we have available on Amazon, they have cheap binders. And the cheap binder, you're going to grind it and it's going to go into paper, but you can get to see that it works. And then look at something interesting. Look at how on the wax paper the PanPastel stays, and also remnant dust can go in there and you can just swap it around. Okay, so that's interesting. That's good to know. Now let's see everything that we have here. Let me just close my materials. It's probably going to take longer, but if I don't do that, then later I lose my things and I don't know where I put them. So as I mentioned, PanPastels have got kind of alcohol binder. Yeah, but I'm not sure exactly what type of alcohol, or it's similar. Could be. Just grabbed some red here with the makeup tool. And there are different shapes like that you can use. These are not really that expensive. And if you don't mind the dust, then no big deal. But this is the budget option to PanPastels. Get an acceptable, soft pastel set, Faber-Castell, or something that has got kind of good reviews because of artistry. Comments or something like that. I'm trying to think of the correct word. And you can get to see that it has, the sponge has got excellent coverage because it's very flexible. And then what I like is that I'm extending this to the other colors that I have. So it works perfectly with the Faber-Castell. So I'm creating kind of a soft shade of purple. And remember that you can use this method with the dust or the pan pastel to create and mix some paper, which is going to be very useful. And then we have here green and red are complementary colors. So over here we are mixing this properly. Okay. Later you can go and clean these sponges, but if you actually use all the pigment, then your paper towel or your cloth towel is not really going to be having that much. Okay. So now that I have this, I'm going to try and work which stencil will work. Okay, let's try and do the flowers. And I'm going to change this cover. And there I put the other one here. I don't want to buy more things from Amazon, but the moment you see a tool works for you, then you're like, oops, I only have 2 of these things. So let's do something better. Okay, let me get my PanPastels back. Oh, I have to close it. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, it's going to finish with a scrape there, if you can see it. But it doesn't matter. The thing is to use this. Okay, I'm going to try and use these as much as I can so I can finish them off. And maybe, not this year, but next year, maybe I could go for the 20 set. Who knows? Maybe. So, in a certain way, I'm going to mistreat and use and try to finish up everything that I can. Okay, so this is going to grab a little bit of red. So the pans are particularly big, you know, so you can leave certain areas in your pan to mix. And you can mix on palette. Okay. And here we already have a cute orange going on. I didn't want this video to be that long, but I think the experimentation is worth it. Okay. Because this is what I did in the Goo Gelly book. I still have some pigment here. So let's try this one on top of the Faber-Castell with these two. Great. There we go. I think I have somewhere, I have to look into my other boxes. I think I have somewhere a set of other soft pastels that I can use. And maybe, just maybe, look, this one still has got something in there. And if I add some white, this is PanPastel. Now I'm just in PanPastel and I'm just covering everything. You can get to see beautiful things. I think that the best thing when you have only 7 colors like this, the best thing that you can do is play and mix them. Okay, so I'm going to use part of this section to mix the colors here. And then another section to keep the color clean in case I need a clean color. Okay, but look at this. This is looking quite good. Okay, so we have tried dust. We have tried also the PanPastel here. What we have not tried, and that's what we are going to try here, is alcohol. So this is rubbing alcohol, 70%, it's typical one. And I'm going to need a smaller container to put the alcohol here. I got a very, very old brush. And let's see what happens if I rub alcohol. Okay, I can extend it. Nice. Okay, the effect, I think it's going to be softer. Let me put a little bit of alcohol here on my cap here. Is this cap lid so bad with that vocabulary? Should go back and revise notes. Okay, so we have alcohol. Alcohol evaporates, so it's really not that important too. But we can move it around. And the effect, once it's on paper, it's quite soft. I'm not really disappointed with this. Okay, what happens if I move this little bit of water that I have? Okay, so there you go. Move this petal and it almost disappeared. I'm going to show it on camera. Let's try it here. Put this one over there so it doesn't fall over my things. Okay, and the alcohol evaporates. It looks like it disappeared, but look at this with alcohol, a phantom effect. Nice. So we're going to try and keep this video under 30 minutes so you can watch it and go and play with this. So I'm already in 27 minutes. And the last thing that I'm going to show you, because I mentioned this to one of my dearest viewers, this is for you, okay? I mentioned that there are soft pastels like Faber-Castell that are able to be dusted and you can use them as watercolor and it's fantastic. But I've also found this set that is just sold in Mexico, okay, because it's Dixon's company. And this one is so special. This is like having a crayon that is water soluble, but it's a crayon. And you can go directly and use them like this. You can dust it, or you can go directly and activate it from here. And it's not intense, it can be reactivated with water, okay? But they are like crayons. So the effects that you can create with this, because they are very intense, are totally different, okay? And if I try, let's try this because we have this. Okay, definitely they're not going to, they're going to cover a lot of the PanPastel, but you can get to see that in a certain way they mix, they are producing the complementary color. That's how you darken the green or black things. Okay, I don't know exactly if you can get this in the United States or Canada or any other country that you're watching from, but if you get to find this brand, Vinci Arts, it's water soluble cubes. They're professional, and I have had this set for around 10 years. And I think I'm going to start using it in my coloring books. Okay, so let me just show you this one without the clip. So this is the infuser. Okay, I have one sitting at home, and I was like, oh, this is exactly the type of mesh that I need. Okay, so I just open it up, put my clip, and then I can automatically grind this. Okay, so I hope you have liked the video. I'm going to show the experiments here, and that you give it a like, subscribe, share, and most importantly, go and try these techniques. First on a piece of paper, then you can try them on your coloring books Okay, I started with the last page. Okay, there you go. And this is the page where I'm going to be using those techniques. Okay, the background is watercolor, is Kuretake, Art Nouveau set, and I'm already going through the sections that I have missed with PanPastels. And then this paper is thick enough, and I think that instead of water, I'm going to activate, I'm going to produce the effects with alcohol, because then the paper might not buckle up. Okay, so thank you very much, guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you on Saturdays when I stream at 7 a.m. Mountain Time. Okay, sometimes I go live on Sundays if I can find a small little spot or place. And if that is the case, you're going to see me working with a lot of these things. So thank you very much. See you around and have a great day. Bye.